Hello and welcome to another episode of IGN Give This a 7, but is it really though? Today I'm going to be taking a look at Pokémon Arceus or Arceus or however you're supposed to pronounce it. I'm not going to lie, there's going to be a lot in this video because I kind of suppose I should go back to my roots with Pokemon. I've mentioned on this channel before, autistic as fuck, I was hyper obsessed with Pokemon. I used to be able to recant in order all 151 and then all 251. I used to play the games obsessively. I loved Gen 1. I owned every version of Gen 1, every version of Gen 2. Gen 2 is, in my opinion, one of the greatest JRPGs ever made. However, I've never revisited it, and I've never replayed the DS version, because when Ruby and Sapphire came out, I hit the wall harder than I've ever hit the wall with the game franchise. And I'm like, I've done the exact same thing over and over and over and over again. These games just don't change. For a game about evolution, they do not evolve. And as a result, I'm not a Pokemon fan. I'm not. I've tried so many gens. I always bounce really early. Like, really early. I'll be lucky if I get to the 4th gym and bounce early. I do not enjoy any of the loop of Pokemon anymore. I hate the fact that this is about to turn probably into some sort of political rant about billionaires, but with all of the stuff that's came out in recent files, I'm seeing even more about how the rich basically use games to be very predatory towards children and get them hooked on gambling and things. I cannot stand what Pokemon has become. I think everything being about constant RNG, constant repetition, constant grinding, constant everything. I will watch streamers who I really like, who quite frankly are losing the will to live doing certain things. Like there's a streamer who literally only hunts shiny Pokemon, and for I can't remember the exact amount of time between Z-Year coming out and Z-Year's Mega Dimension DLC, but basically he spent 3 days barely sleeping, grinding to get the shiny charm item, whatever it is that makes it. It might be like a pass, I don't know. Again, I don't play these games. He spent 3 days doing that, and then he spent literally every day, with the exception of maybe 1 or 2 due to health reasons, up to Mega Dimensions, hunting for one specific shiny Pokemon, and he didn't even get it. He got 60 others, but he didn't get the one that he was actually hunting for. And then the Mega Dimensions DLC came out, and it broke him so much that now his channels went from, I only do Pokemon, to, you know what, I'm going to pretty much do anything other than Pokemon. And I don't blame him. I really feel sorry for Pokemon fans, and even worse is the fact that so many defend these things and say, yeah, like, but where I'm a fan, I'm allowed to crap on it, and I get that mindset, but at the same time, I think so many of the Pokemon fan base has Stockholm Syndrome, and it's unbelievable. But with Arceus, I had heard from long-time Pokemon fans that this was the game that actually got them back into Pokemon, that got them really hooked again, that made them think this is the one, this was absolutely amazing. So I had interest in it, and I ended up buying it, and I really just do not get this game. I do not get the hype. I do not get why people like this, play this. There's so many problems I have with this game. The biggest cardinal sin that I can actually see is it's just not fun. Video games should be fun, but the loop in this game is so monotonous. You walk around, you have to catch Pokemon, you have to catch so many Pokemon to level things up. But for the most part, combat in this game, outside of actually catching Pokemon, usually results in 1, maybe 2 moves, as long as I have the right type matchup, which I completely forgot that I had Psyduck equipped, so water versus water isn't a type matchup. I was supposed to be going for Dartrix there, because it has grass moves, and I was going to try to essentially show that I can one-shot it, basically. And that's what most of combat is. It's so boring and monotonous. You go into this menu, you get all of this bullcrap, you one-shot the Pokemon, and then you move on. Every time I get challenged by a trainer, this was always the case. The only time combat actually lasts longer is when I'm trying to catch Pokemon, and I've been assaulted by the Pokemon. So if I'm throwing Pokeballs at it and I miss or trigger another Pokemon and get into a battle and then I try to catch that Pokemon, I'll try my best to whittle the energy down and then just keep throwing Pokeballs. And catching Pokemon used to drive me crazy as a kid because it was constantly RNG, and I swear it feels like the rates are so much worse than when I was a child. Maybe it's just I'm more conscious of it being older, but I swear it takes so many more Pokeballs to catch the most basic of fucking things in this game compared to what it used to when I was playing Gen 1, Gen 2, Gen 3. There's just so much that I genuinely dislike about this game, to the point of that I don't care that I might be about to piss off a bunch of Pokemon fans, but this whole thing is I look at things and I wonder how IGN give things a 7, and whether or not I agree with that 7, think the 7 is too low or think the 7 is too high. And there are some things about this game which are really good. The art style is fantastic, the music is great. I'm struggling. I'm really struggling now. Yeah, so the art style is great, and the music is great, and graphically it looks decently impressive, considering the fact that Scarlet and Violet looked like an absolute train wreck. I seriously, I don't think I can think of a third positive. I'm completely drawing a blank right now, because I can't even see it. The monsters, like, the designs are good, because that's part of the art style. I really am. You get a mount, and the mount noise, like the blah, 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 reminds me of the Mighty Boosh. There, that's the third thing. It's also got this mechanic that I can't stand from the Xenoblade games, and I don't get why they decided this is a thing that needs to happen in JRPGs now. I don't want enemies that are a stupidly high level, and granted, it's that one probably isn't, but there are so many times that I'll be walking around and a Pokemon 14 times my fucking level will decide to aggro on me, assault me, and try to party wipe me because I get unlucky being able to even run away. I really cannot stand that. It punishes exploration. And that's my problem with it in Xenoblade as well. I really wanted to love this. I went into it so open-minded because Pokemon used to be so important to me, and I wanted to like it. I would actually love nothing more than if they turn around and rebuild Pokemon Gen 1 from the ground up on the Scarlet Violet engine. This is kind of my hopes at the moment, because they know how to work the Scarlet Violet engine now, they know it runs on a Switch 2, just fully rebuild the game from the ground up, reinvent it, not let's go it or anything like that, make it an open world Pokemon with the original 151, get rid of the bullshit shiny rates and catch rates and everything. Make it an actually fun game to play. You'd be able to balance it a lot easier as well. You'd be able to tweak things. You could fully expand the Team Rocket storyline and make it its own full quest. Like, there's so much you could actually do. Reinventing it and, like, remaking it in the vein of Final Fantasy VII's remake or Resident Evil 4's remake. There's genuinely so much you could do to revitalize and evolve this franchise. But they spend fuck all on them. It makes them probably billions, and all I can see is, Pokemon fans, you deserve better, and until you stop buying these games, and in this case, I'm the problem, because I've bought this shit, but in my defense, I don't, like, buy every Pokemon game. I skip so many gens. Like, as much as I was saying I'd always bounce on the 4th gym, I don't think I played Diamond and Pearl at all. I definitely didn't play Black, White 1 or 2. I definitely didn't play Sun, Moon 1 or 2. I did try X and Y. I didn't try Sword and Shield. I did try Scarlet and Violet on the Switch 2 because everyone was saying that one's the one that got them into it now that it finally runs on the Switch 2, and I strongly regret that. And at that point, the damage was already done. Like, by the time I bought that fucking game, it already broke every single fucking Pokemon sales record. So what message were they gonna, like, get from me not buying it at that point? But genuinely, the only thing they care about is money, so until it starts affecting their bottom line, until everyone starts mass boycotting this fucking franchise, none of this shit will ever change. And Pokemon fans, you deserve it to change. I don't know if you've noticed other franchises like Zelda and Mario and Donkey Kong and all of these other Nintendo franchises, and not just Nintendo, all of these Capcom franchises like Resident Evil, they're all getting severe love. They're all coming out with games that people are saying are like the greatest they've made in that franchise currently. Don't you think the richest franchise on the planet kinda deserves you that at some point, kinda owes you that? Don't you think you deserve it for yourself? Don't you want something better than this absolute fucking shit? And the worst part is, this is the one that people see is good. I just... If this is how low your standards are, my word, you need to play other franchises. I feel so fucking sorry for anyone who is trapped in the Stockholm Syndrome of Pokemon right now. It is heartbreaking that this is like this. I truly cannot fucking stand playing this game right now. I at least thought I'd managed to roll credits before making this review. I knew, well, not review, but video critique type thing. But it's like any other JRPG. I don't need to put in 150 hours if 20 hours, 30 hours, 40 hours in, it's the same monotonous crap all the way through. All that's going to do is actually make me hate it even more. I knew I'd never do the end game because the end game grinding's even worse, but the main game grinding... this is just... This is bleak. It's bleak. It looks so gorgeous, and it sounds so nice as well. And I would love nothing more than for the rest of the game to meet this quality. But it just doesn't. It's truly fucking sad that this is what Pokemon has become. And when you add in all of the severely predatory things that children growing up on this stuff, like, I know fine well I grew up on some shit, and I've had some severe trauma in my life as well, which is why the media I consumed didn't really matter that fucking much, but I knew I grew up on some shit that has warped my mind in certain ways. I am genuinely petrified for the wave of gambling addicts that this generation seems to be breeding at this moment in time. And not just Pokemon, I mean in everything. I watch hockey. I love hockey. I love the Avs. I watch every single fucking Avalanche game that I can do. I have a hockey community that I'm a part of that I actually get to talk to people about hockey, finally, because being a queer neurodivergent hockey fan in the UK, it gets fucking lonely. But all of these things, and you know what, I'm actually going to let this one catch me, because this might prove my point with the stupidly high level thing that aggroed me. Maybe if I throw a Pokemon at it. Anyway, I love hockey, but it's so bad with gambling now. Like, everything, and even every single YouTube channel that I actually like and watch hockey with, yep, level 31, way higher than I've got, so let's see if it'll actually let me run away. Everything is just gambling ads now. Everything, gambling, and you see people on social media saying that they're training their kids to gamble responsibly. It's like, is that even a fucking thing? And this is from someone who, as a literal child, used to get taken to... I'm going to say the word arcade. If you're international, you may think that that's literally just a video game thing. Not in the UK. In the UK, our arcades sometimes had video games, but mostly were gambling machines. And the children's section were... The maximum you could pay on a machine was 10 pence, I think. The adult section was you could pay £1 whole to get 4 spins or something. I used to gamble all the time as an actual child, and I'm probably one of the few people, up until microtransactions came in, which is definitely a form of gambling, and one of the only people who probably managed to make money from it, because my local, we used to go every weekend, and I noticed that there was, like, this is the autism in me, I noticed one of the machines clearly paid out a lot more than any of the others. I used to be able to walk in with a single £1 and walk out with between 8 to 16 quid every single weekend. I paid for so many games growing up just from gambling. I'm someone who literally gambled and then kind of became a gambling addict with microtransactions because of a severe depression wave. Growing up like that, I know fine well that shit affects you. I'm petrified for what Pokemon must be doing to children these days. I am absolutely fucking petrified for it. But this is part of the problem. I'm seeing Pokemon fans should boycott. It's not just the Pokemon fans, it's adults who buy these for their children, and they'll never stop because they genuinely don't see the danger. And especially with the fact that so many parents are checked out, it really is a case of, if I throw a game and a screen at them, then at least that way I can live my life. You know, the kinds of people who really should not have had children. Yeah, this is going to become a totally different fucking video at this rate, but I think I'm done. Catharsis has been achieved. So, yeah. This has been Sky Fellowship, and in case it hasn't been made abundantly clear, IGN, what the hell were you thinking? How the hell is this even worthy of a score as high as a 7? I genuinely do not understand how you can rate this higher than a 5, and I think 5 is generous, because games have to be severely broken, I feel, to go under 5. Anything under 5 is, it's broken, it's buggy, it's glitchy. But if your game is just simply boring as fuck, that's a 5 to me. So yeah, until next time, I hope you have a great rest of your day. Bye.